It's good to see you.
There you go.
Okay. There's Pamela. Woo.
Hello, hello. Sorry I'm a little late.
Good
Senator,
morning, good afternoon, and good evening, given all the time zones that we're in. Welcome to the commemoration of the 10th anniversary of when the Raechel and Jacqueline Houck Safe Rental Car Act took effect on June 1, 2016. Thank you all for joining in to honor Raechel and Jackie's memory, and especially to honor Cally Houck for perpetuating her beautiful, talented daughter's memory and lives in the most powerful, meaningful way possible by making their legacy a federal act of Congress that will continue to save lives on into the future. Before we hear from our speakers, everyone, please introduce yourselves with just a sentence or two, starting with Senator Barbara Boxer and Representative Lois Capps.
Yes, when all this happened, Cally walked into my office and it didn't take 6 words until I said, we're going to see this through. And I'm so happy it worked out this way.
Thank you. Thank you.
and I'll echo those remarks from my colleague from the Senate and say that, Cally, you have been the driving force from the very first day in the midst of your horrible grief, that I think there was a fierceness in your soul that said, we have to fix this. And we did. It took a long time, but it happened.
It did, yeah.
Yes. And next, Stacy, Joan, and Hannah.
Hi, everyone. Senator, representatives, nice to see you. Cally, Rosemary, Pamela, Cally, and your family. Thank you for having me. I'm glad that technology works here in Iceland.
Oh my.
It was the most meaningful, I think, thing I did in my 10 years working for Chuck Schumer. My proudest work.
What a compliment. Yes.
Yes. And Joan, and then Hannah Beth.
Thank you. It's such an honor to be here today with this amazing group of distinguished and brave people. I was at the time of this taking place, I was the executive director of the Consumers Council of Missouri, which I had helped rebirth when I was in the Senate in Missouri. I served 18 years in the legislature, and in my last 10 years in the Senate, getting the Consumers Council reborn from a kind of a moribund state was one of the most, I think, important things I did. And this was an amazing opportunity for us to get to do something meaningful. And Cally, I spoke to Claire McCaskill, hoping that she could be here today, and she couldn't, but she said to send you a special greeting and love from her.
Thank you so much.
She was so helpful to us as we worked here in the home office of the rental car company enterprise. It meant a lot for us to be in on this.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm Hannah Beth Jackson. Cally was my constituent. And boy, I'll tell you, when she walked in the office, you stopped and you listened. And having resources from the Senator Boxer to Senator Schumer to Lois to the folks all who worked federally, and then of course working with Rosemary. I mean, this was just going to happen, and whether we were, this was I want to say David versus Goliath, but the truth is, I think it was more Davida and Goliath. It was the women who made this happen. That determination, and I'm very, very proud of having been able to to help fight against the effort that was made to undermine the federal legislation here in California. These folks are powerful, they have a lot of money, but they didn't have the moral high road here. And because of the hard work that everybody did in Cali, because of your determination and your persistence, and the love that you sent out to the world, to do something extraordinary to help save lives. I think it really truly is one of, at least certainly one of my proudest moments as well, to have been part of this great group of people.
Thank you.
Thank you. And next, Kamala, then Sue, Bernard, Laura, and Megan.
Thanks, Rosemary. Cally, it's so wonderful to see you. It's been such a long time. It's just great to be here. And Rosemary, thank you for pulling this together. So I'm Pamela Gilbert. I'm now been working for over 4 decades in Washington, D.C. as a consumer advocate, working on a lot of safety issues. I'm going to echo what's already been said. The honor and the most significant work of my career was working on this bill as well, and working with Cally and doing this in honor of her wonderful daughters. So I'm thrilled that we're celebrating it. We need to do more celebration of accomplishments, right, to keep us going and keep us moving forward. But it was, it was just the honor and highlight of my career. And every single person I'm looking on this Zoom played such a significant role as well. So it's wonderful to be here.
Thank you so much. I want you to come back. Because we've been there with you. So it was
And now Sue.
beautiful, just beautiful.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sue Woods, and I serve on the C.A.R.S Board of Directors and have been since I think its inception many years ago in San Diego. And being able to be a part of these type of wonderful successes and efforts, working with so many incredible, dedicated people of integrity, just makes volunteering in such an effort all worthwhile. And my hat's off to everybody who worked on this, and to Cally and Rosemary and everybody that participated in making this happen. It's just an incredible effort with a fabulous outcome. So many lives and countable number of lives that have been saved because of this. Thank you all.
And Laura.
I'm Laura Polachek. I'm also on the C.A.R.S board. I can take absolutely no credit for this bill, but what I can do is say I am, like everyone has said, in absolute awe of all of you who worked so tirelessly, especially Cally and Rosemary and Pam and all of you, and all the members of Congress. Yay! I wish you were back there. It gives, in these dark times, to have something like this, even though it was because of a tragic incident, it gives you hope that there's goodness in the world and in our country. And I'm honored to be affiliated with this effort.
Thank you.
And Bernard.
I'm Bernard Brown. I'm a consumer protection attorney in Kansas City. I'm on C.A.R.S board. Cally, it's a delight to get to meet you face to face here, and this entire group. Really pleasing stuff. I was mostly a cheerleader for Rosemary, who's the intrepid person, but working in the background with analysis and stuff. I do think, and Senator Boxer, the political people on this call could say, I have the sense that if people will take a tragedy, something that really, where you really can see an answer, a constructive solution, and you really do have hard facts to show something is really bad, that stuff can carry a lot of weight in the political sphere if you get Cally Houck to be a face of it. I mean, okay, like, look, who's going to argue with that? And with Senator Boxer, people who know how to actually do the real making of sausage to make it happen. That's a real lesson. And I really can't wait to hear, Cally, if you have other things, look at you all. If you have other things to work on, you've done enough. you don't owe more now, you've done so much, but there are sure more things like this. And if people like you keep going, it does give us hope, even in this polarized time. Yeah, we'll keep going.
And Megan?
Hi, I'm Megan Varvey. I serve on the C.A.R.S Foundation Board of Directors. Cally, it's wonderful to see you, your family. And Senator Jackson, it's really nice to hear your voice. I miss it in Sacramento. I do remember I met Rosemary when I worked at the Consumer Federation of California, and I remember her talking about this at a board meeting, the first time I had heard of this idea. And Rosemary got that like tone in her voice, and I was like, oh, this is gonna happen. It's happening. So yeah, it's so beautiful to be like here 10 years later and remember that first time hearing about it, like it happened. So
Thank you. Thank you all. It's such a blessing to be here today with our stellar A-list of safety champions who all played vitally important roles in overcoming the opposition, not only from the rental car companies, but also from the auto manufacturers and the car dealers. And we kept hearing from people that you can't win against all of them, but we did. And eventually it took a ton of work. We got the rental car companies to flip, and they finally worked with us to win passage. And it's especially wonderful to be able to honor Cally, who remains a huge inspiration for persisting over the years that it took to win passage of the act, and who continues to serve on the board of directors of the Consumers for Auto Reliability and Safety Foundation as board member emeritus. We're very honored to have you on the board still. And Cally not only stood up to Chrysler and Enterprise and won a unanimous jury verdict for negligence and wrongful death using existing state laws, but also refused to sign a confidentiality agreement that would have silenced her voice. And when she first contacted me, I asked her to please don't give up your First Amendment right to tell the truth about what happened so we could change the law. And it was Cally's voice every step of the way. And I remember somebody telling me they overheard someone from the rental car company saying, when Cally starts to talk, it just takes all the oxygen out of the room. To her everlasting credit, Cally told Enterprise there was no amount of money that could buy her silence.
Yeah.
And together with Cally and with all of you pitching in, and with support from the Obama administration, which got behind our efforts, we were able to change federal law to, for the first time, apply to used cars. There was an old federal law from the 60s that prohibited dealers from selling recalled new cars. The rental car company said, well, these aren't new because we bought them. So now they're used, to prohibit them from renting, loaning, or selling recalled vehicles unless and until the safety recall defects are repaired. Raechel and Jackie's Act, for the first time, gave the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration the authority to crack down on rental car companies that violate the Act without anyone having to suffer damages or be injured or killed, which is usually the criteria you have to use to use state law. We'll never know how many lives have been saved. But I'm sure that is happening. And in 2023, under the Biden administration, NHTSA fined Zipcar for violating the act and required Zipcar to reform its entire system for tracking recalls going forward without a crash having to happen first. And Senator Boxer, I would love to hear more from you. You were co-sponsor of the act and really the leading champion. And among all the other activities, both at the congressional hearings and behind the scenes, you challenged the rental car companies to take a pledge to stop renting recalled cars before the law took effect, bringing marketplace pressure to bear. So thank you so much for being a leading light. We could not have done it. We could not have won without you.
Well, thank you. Do you want me to make a couple of remarks at this point?
Absolutely.
Just
Yes.
just briefly. You know, certain things in life are no-brainers. And the minute I heard what happened here, I knew if you walked out the door, wherever you live, whatever state, red, blue, purple, and you said to the average person, do you think when you buy a car and a used car that it's under recall and you don't know about it? And they would just say, you're out of your mind. So, I mean, this thing was so horrible and disgraceful. And for all the good we see in the world, this was a bad thing. And we know from the history of the car companies going way back, everything's about the money. They figure out, how long they can get away with something. And will it cost them more, to make it safe now or just pay off people later? It sickened me. My response was very much not just as a senator, but as a mom of two kids, and I related to Cally and her loss, inexplicable to this day, inexplicable. You cannot reach deep enough into your soul to try and imagine the loss that family felt. And when things like this happen to people, there's a couple of ways they can go, as you know. And you can't blame them for anything. Some people just pull the covers over their head and they say, I can't take it. I'm going to forget this. I'm going to find a new way. I'm not going to look back. And some people try to do something around the edges, and some people do what Cally did. And she made it a mission of her life to make sure that no one ever could suffer this way because of this faulty situation and this loophole that the car companies, rental companies had found. So for me, it was such an honor. And going to Schumer, I remember so well. He was so shocked about it. And I said, I need you. I can't get it over the line. I can't get it over the line without you because of your committees, because of your reach. And he embraced this. I mean, this was hard. And I'll close with this. When you get something done, in my world, the way I've looked at life, and I'm sure all of us on the call who are in politics or know, who go into it for the right reasons, you have to feel it in your heart and you have to focus on it. And so every time, we would do something, we would make it harder and harder on those companies to hold up their. I still remember, I don't remember, I'm 85. I don't remember everything, but I can never forget a presser that we were at where we had the rental car companies who said they were going to be with us. Okay. And the power of that was so strong. And it's the way I did a lot of my work. I got people who, really carried the clout. And if you got that, plus you got activist senators like yourself or House members, you could get it done. So I want to say it just to Cally, because when we meet again, I don't know, but I do know this. It was an honor. It was a privilege. It was the work of a lifetime. It was joyful to win this battle. And I know we're saving so many lives, because some of these recalls are so serious. and they didn't give a damn about it. They just wanted the money, and oh, if we get sued, that's in the budget. No, that's not acceptable. So my reason I jumped on this, it's so lovely to see Lois, and it's so lovely to see Hannah and Schumer's staff and all the rest of you. Really, Cally, is to pay my respects to you again, to thank you for giving me the opportunity to do good work. Because if you hadn't walked in my door, I might not have ever known about this. So thank you. And it remains in my heart that, we did the right thing on this. So thank you all so much for everything you did to help.
I want to second that because I lost connection and who knows what's going to happen in 2 minutes. But in addition to thanking Cally, you're sitting there with a beautiful family. I'm wondering if you could introduce your members of your family who have joined you, because this is a group effort, I can tell.
Yeah, this is my family.
This is her son, Greg, and my two boys, her grandkids, Charlie and Harlow.
Great.
They're basically her sisters, Nancy and Ann. And their husbands are trickling back there. Yeah, we wanted to definitely be a part of this, and it's been a big, thing in our lives. And
to thank all of you.
Yeah, just
and Cally has inspired each one of you, hasn't she?
absolutely.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
And this couldn't have came at a better time either. So
yeah, this is really, really good for all of us.
Well, it's good for us as well. We need to be reminded, and particularly in this day, that good can happen still, and that wrongs can be righted, and that the good guys can win.
Yes, they can.
Yeah.
They can.
Yes, and thank you so much, Representative Capps. You were our leading champion in the House of Representatives.
It was a pleasure and an honor, and it was easy. That's about the easiest thing I've ever done when I was in elected office, to get my colleagues to get behind this.
Well, at my age too, going to DC and meeting a lot of you guys was such an amazing experience that I'm, just have a little bit more eyes on the world and problems, and just want to be a good person, So
Yay. Yes. And
When you think
Stacey,
of it, this is
Stacey-
really democracy in action. This is what we all believe in, that when something bad happens, we have an opportunity to change things, to make it better.
Yeah.
that is very true. This doesn't happen unless you have a democracy.
Fragile as it is.
Yes. Yes. And so, Stacey, thank you too for the incredible role that you played, not only representing Senator Schumer, but as yourself, being so committed to making the act actually happen. And so tell us more about what that was like.
It was 5 years by my count from sort of when we started and when I think Pamela reached out. And it was a slog. There was a lot of fights with some other offices from members that represented rental car companies. Eventually they came. We made changes, we edited. I think Pamela, I want to tell this story because I think Pamela will remember, we were down to the wire. It had passed the Senate. Thank you, Senator Boxer. It was in the House and there was a last minute change. There was a member that was holding up the legislation. He wanted to change the definition of a rental car company. So he wanted to raise the number of cars. I think we had settled initially maybe on 20. Anyway, he wanted to raise it to 35. So I happened to be at a conference and I get a call from Pamela. So I leave the conference, I go outside, and that's relevant, and I'll tell you in a second. And she calls me and she goes, this is what's happened. We're in a situation. This member of Congress, who, by the way, owns a car dealership and then he rents cars, is holding up the legislation wants us to change the number of cars that qualify, you know, that meet the definition of a rent-a-car company to 35. And I said, Pamela, if, you know, she said, I think we should do it. I said, I think this is it. We have to do it. This is our best and possibly only chance. And so we agreed. So we're on the phone, and I'm trying to, hold on. A rainbow appeared.
Oh my.
We're not surprised.
And I'm not making that up. Pamela will say, I was on the call with her and I said, you'll never believe what just happened.
Wow.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Stacy. We couldn't have done it without all of you, including Stacy, who, you know, worked so much behind the scenes and held all those stakeholder meetings. And you just totally saw through all the industry BS. And there was a lot of it. So yeah, you played a huge role.
Kelly would call me to the office, and she was so thoughtful and grateful. And I, you know, of course, then it left me in tears as well. I said, I'm not giving up. I am going to stick with this. We're going to make this happen.
Yes, thank you. And
it's because of Hannah Beth that we have California at the forefront of all this as that happened.
Yeah.
Yes.
How was that? Was that hard, Hannah Beth, getting your colleagues' attention?
That hard. It should have been, but some of my colleagues, and one in particular, who actually is a decent guy, came from a family of car dealers and didn't understand what the problem was, because he came from that business perspective rather than looking at it from the point of view of human beings. And I think, you know, having Cally there to just tell her story, I don't think there was a dry eye in the house. And how do you, you know, that's really the way that you fight back against the moneyed interests. So they were powerful, they were strong. They've got, you know, they've even got an office a block from the Capitol, the car manufacturers. I mean, they're a powerful group, and it's all about the money. But we were able to fight back against the effort that they tried in the federal government to basically say, well, if we disclose that these are recall vehicles, then we've met our burden, and anything that happens just doesn't, it's not our fault. And of course, we know nobody in their right mind reads through all of the disclosures and statements that you get when you rent a car, buy a car, whatever. I mean, I'm a lawyer and I can't understand half of that gobbledygook. So, you know, we really were able to fight back, but it wouldn't have happened without the, you know, this was a team effort. This was a team effort. Rosemary was up in the Capitol in the face of just about every legislator that she could get a hold of. When Cally came up, there was sort of I won't say a silence in the room, but an appreciation that this woman had just had an experience that nobody should ever have to have in life. And yet she was strong in her commitment that this wasn't going to happen to one other person. And I think that combination and the work that you had done on the federal level, and that the commitment from everyone that we were just going to make sure that there were no more deaths that didn't have to happen because of this kind of behavior and this effort to just simply remove any responsibility from the people who were responsible. And so it wasn't an easy effort, but it was effective. And at the end of the day, Rosemary, I don't know what our vote was, but I think we pretty well won the day from both sides of the aisle, which is, of course, we all know today is a miracle. But the miracle was really because Cally was strong and determined and was channeling the life and the love of her kids and didn't want anybody else to have to go through that. So still tearful 10 years later, but we know that we saved a lot of lives. And Cally, it really was because of you.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you, Senator. And you played such a pivotal role in fending off what we call the license to kill bill in California, which would have allowed dealers to sell recalled cars if they just disclosed, shifting the liability onto the victims. And yeah, and Cally stood firm against that, and we had to fight that fight at the federal level too. And thanks to the state level efforts going well, you bolstered our federal efforts. So that made a huge difference. Thank you. And next we'll hear from Pamela Gilbert, who is a former member of C.A.R.S board of directors. And I think the best decision I made in the whole battle was hiring Pamela to represent us in DC. So take it away, Pamela.
Thank you, Rosemary. Thank you to everybody. I just love listening to these stories. I remember all of it. And it is so true that every single person who's speaking today played such an important role to move this through. And Stacy, I do remember that phone call. In fact, I was recounting it to Rosemary yesterday when she called me. So I do. I actually hated having to go up to 35 cars, but but it was worth it, and and we got the bill passed. So thank you. I consider everybody who participated in this such heroes to me, and it was such a formidable experience for me to be able to participate in this effort, and particularly to work with Cally. So I also am going to have to say some kudos and tributes to Cally. And as has been said, this is an unthinkable tragedy that happened to Cally. It's beyond everybody's, every parent's worst nightmare. It's devastating, and I have such admiration and awe for what Cally did with this tragedy. She decided that it wasn't going to happen again to somebody else. And not only did she make that decision, but she just worked her heart and soul out and really was the beating heart of this effort, along with the memory of Raechel and Jackie. And I'll say that, Cally, you were smart enough for your first phone call to be Rosemary Shan. When you decided you wanted to do this, you could find no better advocate in the United States of America to work on a cause like this than Rosemary, and so that was your smart move. But just you want to say that my career now over 40 years has been spent largely working against corporate misconduct and corporate abuse, and I've spent many hours with families of people who've been killed, injured, or harmed by corporate misconduct. And each one of them I admire more than I can say, because they use what happened to them not to help them because it's done for them already, but to help the next person, to make sure that these tragedies don't happen again. But I have to say, without hesitation, Cally, you stand out among every single one of them. And it is true that one of those rental car lobbyists said that you take all the oxygen out of the room when you speak. But I will say I've never seen anybody do what you did. You just poured everything into this campaign in honor of your daughters, to make it a federal crime, so that what happened to them wouldn't happen to somebody else. And folks need to think about this. You came out from your beautiful home with a beautiful family in Ojai, California, to travel to DC, to walk the halls of Congress, to tell your story over and over and over again. And how difficult was that? And Stacy's right. Almost every single one of those staff people, we left them in tears, or I should say, you left them in tears, Cally. But they could wipe their tears and go on, but you had to go into the next office and tell the story, and into the next office. And not only that, you testified in an open Senate hearing, and again had to tell your story. Then you talked to the news media, and again you told your story. Not only that, You worked behind the scenes with us on strategy, on legislative language. You measured all the legislative proposals with one metric. Would it have saved Raechel and Jackie's lives, which was the best metric. And then I just want to end with another story. As folks know or may know, so Enterprise was the rental company that rented the car to Raechel and Jackie. And not only were they responsible for their deaths, but then instead of stepping up and taking responsibility, they forced Cally to sue all the way to a jury verdict. They fought her every step of the way for years against her. Finally, thankfully, a jury verdict came out with justice. But it's true that along the way in our legislative campaign, the rental companies flipped, and they not only flipped to not oppose the bill, but they started supporting it with us. So we were actively lobbying alongside the rental companies for this legislation, which was extraordinary, and it was due to a lot of hard work. Senator Boxer, you had a lot to do with that. As well as Stacey and Senator Schumer. And we did get them to come around. But I remember one day, after a long day on the Hill, and Cally was in town, and the Enterprise lobbyists invited us to dinner. And we knew that this was going to be a difficult ask for Cally, who had to battle them for so long in the name of her daughters. But she rose to the occasion, and she swallowed her heartache because she knew that making friends with them was the right thing to do to get the bill passed. And she sat down and she had dinner with us, and was able to be cordial and friendly with the Enterprise lobbyists. I tell you that took my breath away. So Cally, you're brilliant, you're compassionate, you're kind, you're determined, you're relentless, you're wonderful, and I love you. And this was just an honor of a lifetime to do this with you.
Great.
So cheers to you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Pamela. Yes. And next, Joan Bray, who had a lot to do with our flipping Enterprise. It's Hertz was the first one.
That is true. Sorry, Joan, that I left you out. You did have a lot to do with flipping Enterprise.
Not like you guys did.
Yeah. And Joan was our secret weapon in Missouri.
Well, it was Consumers Council of Missouri is sort of a small organization, but it's always had people with strong will and the need to succeed in these issues so related to people's lives and their well-being. And so when Rosemary got in touch about this online petition and asking us to get involved, because Enterprise is headquartered here in St. Louis, it is at the mountaintop of corporate leadership and good works throughout the city, and so we were really thrilled to be involved in bringing to people's attention that Enterprise didn't necessarily go around spreading cheer and good works everywhere, because it was having a problem getting on board with this bill. And so to be able to help with that, and then take piles and piles of petitions over to their headquarters, they let us in the front door. As I recall, we got the front door and able to put the petitions down on a table, where they said thanks and escorted us out. But it was to be able to let people know about our hometown organization, business being involved in something so obviously wrong, and fighting it was something that we really got involved in, and we're pleased to be letting folks know and being and helping with the thousands of signatures and getting the word out that this is something that we felt like it stained Missouri, stained St. Louis, because why would anybody fight this? And so I had been termed out of the legislature at that point, but as a senator, my enterprise was in my district, and so I had a relationship with the folks there, and it just hit me one day. Oh my gosh, there's another little element there that I just want to make them remind them of. Their government relations person who was very active in the Capitol. One point, his son had some sort of a physical medical issue, and he was in the hospital, and they had a problem, and the hospital wasn't able to do something, or there was something preventing the son's condition being dealt with as everybody knew it should be, and it needed a law change. And that person who was active in the halls of the legislature got that law changed with that very little problem. And I suddenly remembered that, and I just wrote a letter to the CEO of Enterprise and said, your people were involved in doing something really important that has helped other people who've had this particular problem. And what we have now is a huge issue that is national and catastrophic, and you guys need to think about getting on board. At some point later they did, but I like to think that maybe they did think personally and take it to heart that wow, this can be done to help others, and it won't damage their business. So it was a real interesting development of the relationship with Enterprise, who has since become much more consumer oriented and consumer helpful in Missouri, and I know nationally as well. But Cally, is just your strength, your grace, your focus, your amazing ability to get yourself together and do what you did in the halls of Congress, and then in California is just it's a model for anyone who has the need to get something done. I think they need your recipe.
Thank you, Joan. And that was quite an experience showing up at Enterprise headquarters.
We weren't their kind of people.
Fearless. So, well, thank you everybody for participating, and we all love you, Cally and Greg.
Love you guys.
Yeah, and I neglected to mention Greg, who also came out to DC and helped us out tremendously. And it was it's nice to see your sons and to
You
see
were a great guide. You were the best guide.
Yes. Yeah, so we're showering you with our love.
That's great.
And this is a happy day. 10 years.
I think everyone on this call is an inspiration at hearing all of you speak. And I know I haven't met all of you personally, but of course I've heard about you at the federal and state level, and you're all pretty amazing advocates that contribute a lot to the welfare of our country and our state. So California, and Missouri. So thank you for
I
that.
wish Missouri could have good laws like California.
I'm from Wisconsin, so let's go Midwest. Thank you for that.
So if you have a beverage of choice, I propose a toast.
We have what's happening?
We're going to do a toast to you.
With lemonade, California wine.
Grissini and Ringgold. Grissini wine.
Oh.
Oh, Cally's attorneys.
Pretend it's alcohol.
Okay, Cally, you need to tell. Raise our glasses. Here, look at.
Cheers.
Okay.
Cheers to Cally.
To Cally.
To Raechel and Jackie and their
Absolutely.
indomitable mother and brother and whole family.
You're here.
Cheers.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank
Meet
you.
Be
you.
well.
Thank you.
I'm a fan of yours.
Be well.
How we do
We
it?
all are.
I was excited. Hi, hi, hi.
Hi, cutie patooties.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Love you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Hope to see you again.
If that wasn't uplifting, I don't know what is.
She's still here.
Oh, still there. Just Rosemary.
We're still here.
Say hi and thank you.
Thank you so much.
That's to do for.
I love you with every chamber of my heart.
That's what you're saying.
Too.
Good to
That's
see you, Callie, and your adorable grandkids.
Yeah.
They're the cutest. And that
Yeah.
they lasted through that whole effort. Whole
Yeah.
45 minutes. That's amazing.
very good.
Mhm.
Big hugs.
I love you with every chamber of my heart, all of
I
you.
love you too, Callie. Oceans of love.
Oceans of love, yeah.
To the moon and back.
Thank you all for all of this.
So it was recorded. It'll be posted on YouTube so you can see it again anytime you want.
Very cool. Yeah,
I wish you could all come and
get the link from there or something.
huh?
I'll get the link from there or something. or
Yeah.
however.
It may
Send
take a
over.
day or so, but I'll send you the link.
No worries. Thank you.
And then maybe we can get everybody all together and with the kids, and everything. That would be wonderful.
Yes,
That'd be awesome.
I would love that.
Be nice to see you again, Callie.
It was good to see you too. Just it's been a while.
It
but
has, it has.
Yeah.
I love you all and thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Callie.
Okay, love you guys. See ya.